Has anybody else noticed that the last few days have been different? I don't know if it's the fact that there was a new moon, a solar eclipse, 6 planets aligning, a meteor shower, and continuous solar flares that are affecting people. But I have to say, I have talked to numerous women who have said not only did they get their cycle in the last 4 days or 5 days, but they've also been super lethargic, extra thirsty, may or may not have had an appetite or specific cravings, and they felt bad for it. We're not doing that. We do not shame ourselves, or we should not shame ourselves for listening to our body. If our body tells us that we need rest, you need to rest. I am one person who definitely has had, situations where I didn't listen to my body and I ended up in the hospital. So I don't do that no more. And when my body told me, nah, shorty, you gotta rest, that's exactly what I did. So not only was my body telling me I needed to rest, my computer was acting up. All 3 of my phones were acting up. They weren't buffering right, or they were telling me I didn't have space, or like it was yesterday. It was just craziness, and I was like, I opt out. I'm not even finna fight with nature, because nature will always win. If you do not listen to your body, things will start to happen and you will understand what I'm talking about. So if you've ever been in a situation where you were in complete burnout, it was probably because you didn't listen to your body. Or at least I know that was the case with me. The energy the last few days have been very much, you need to listen to your body. You need to rest. You need to relax type of energy. And I personally decided to listen. So I stopped packing. I didn't really cook the last few days. Like it's been very much so like bare minimum chill type energy. I'm grateful, and I understand why. There is so much going on cosmically that it has been doing something to our bodies. We've been purging. We've been like super emotional one day, super angry the next day. Just it's just been all out of whack. Like, and if you've also been experiencing these ups and downs in the last few days, last week, please let me know. Join in the comments and let us know that, you know, it's not just us. Because like I've talked to 5 different women who we all went through the same thing at the same time, and we were just trying to figure it out. And then I realized that like it's nature telling us that we need to sit back and we need to relax a little bit. And so I've been honoring that. And with that, I have also noticed that a lot of things have been coming up for me emotionally, as far as leaving our home, you know, me having children, and even digging so deep as to asking myself why I wanted to have children in the first place. And with that, I realized that it was because I really just wanted to feel loved, honestly. I always wanted children, but when I went back, like when you dig deep and you go under the surface level answers, it really went back to my childhood where I just didn't feel loved. I didn't feel wanted. And of course that is expected when you're being told all the time that you were not wanted, right? But that carried over into me being a parent, because sitting with that allowed me to see that, like, I am a better parent than my mother was. I am a better person than, I give myself credit for. And I appreciate and I love the fact that my grandmother always, always, always made me feel loved. And so one of my mentors had asked me, when was the last time my nervous system really felt at ease? And that's what kind of triggered this digging. The last time I really felt at ease is like when I was like 9 years old and I lived with my grandparents. I didn't have a bill to pay. I didn't have kids to take care of. I could be a kid. And once I left my grandparents' house, that's when I lost that. Because when I left their house, I ended up becoming a mom. Not to my own children, of course, not at 9. Y'all gotta be serious. But like, in the sense that I didn't have any overwhelming responsibility to be an adult. And so knowing now that for the first time in all of these years, I'm about to go back home. It's been almost 26 years since I've lived at home with my grandmother. And the amount of relief that comes from not having to pay bills, not having to pay rent, not having to do this, not having to do that. Like, of course, I will help out. You know what I'm saying? But my grandmother is so independent. She will not let you wash a dish. She will not let you mop the floor. She will not let you cook. She's one of those old school grandparents who she just does everything. And when I offer, it's like, oh no, go sit down. I got it. I'm sure maybe it'll be different like once we're living with her. But as of the last time that we visited, that's how things were. And having the opportunity to sit back and allow my nervous system to reset is very crucial in the journey that I'm about to embark on. And while I don't think that it's going to be for a long time, it will allow me the chance to just regulate myself, to find my baseline. It's crazy because society, tells you that you always have to do. And when all actuality, you really just need to be. It is very unfortunate that we have been taught that rest is unproductive, Rest is one of the most productive things that you can do for your body. And as a society, they have taught us that rest is unproductive, that honoring your body and your body's cycles is not what you should do, that you should just go, do. And it completely just unbalances your nervous system. As somebody who's been working since they were 16, I can honestly say there have been very few times where my nervous system had a chance to just breathe. And so not only am I looking forward to being able to be in a new place and to start over, but I'm also looking forward to getting a chance to just come back to me and come back to who I am. to come back to me and come back to who I am at the end of it all. You know, we do all of these things on a daily basis that are not going to matter 10 years from now. And I'm tired of living a life of anxiety. I'm tired of living a life of anxiety and anguish. And I look forward to this time where I can just breathe. We get so caught up in this cycle of having to do all the things and wear all the hats, and we forget who we are at the core. And it takes something drastic like home displacement to make us realize that we need to slow down, or ending up in the hospital like I have before because I ignored the signs of my body. I am tired of ignoring my body and what my body is telling me to do for the sake of society, for the sake of feeling like I am being productive, for the sake of feeling accomplished, right? You know, I see all of these people who have become financially free through doing things like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, and they've cultivated this business or in this with this community. And I'm just like, 30 years ago, this was completely unheard of. We barely had internet back then. And now to see where society has come in such a short period of time is astonishing. And I look forward to being able to teach my children that you don't need a 9-to-5 to be successful. You don't need to do all of these things to be successful, in a sense, right? Because I guess successful, everybody has their own definition of what successful is. For me, successful is happiness, financial freedom all around, and peace, right? And when I have those, then I can consider myself successful. Success for me is not a monetary value. Success for me is just accomplishing the things that I say I'm going to accomplish. And the one thing that I've learned with being a business owner is your first idea is probably not going to pan out. And if it does, you lucked out. Your second idea might not pan out. Your third idea might not pan out. But the difference between people who make it and people who don't is the fact that the people who make it are the ones who didn't give up. They kept trying even when things didn't work. I don't know how many different artists or actors that didn't make it their first go around, or didn't make it until they were in their 40s, right? And I look forward to being able to start the new cycle of my life, this new journey, because I really honestly think that from 0 to 40 is your playtime. 0 to 40 is your playtime. 40 and beyond is like you need to have had your fun, and now you're doubling down and you're figuring it out, right? Because from 40 to 80, that is your time to really experience life and really play with life and figure out who it is that you actually are. Because when you're younger, you're too busy, you're young, you're doing all the things, and you're figuring out what works and what doesn't. You're trying this and you're trying that, and that is great. That is great. That is the time to do that. Because when you hit 40 and beyond, you don't have time to do that. You don't have time to do that. You really don't. That being said, I don't know where we will be in a month. I don't know where we will be in 2 weeks. But I am willing to take the leap. I am willing to embark on that journey. I am willing to be comfortable in the unknown, to be friends with not knowing. Not knowing can be frustrating, or it can be empowering. I don't know. But I don't know where we're going to go. And yet, I have faith and I believe that we will end up where we're supposed to be. Even if that is just a in-between place, because it's not going to be permanent, of course. It's not going to be permanent, of course. And I will be able to go from there wherever I want to go. I really, really want to travel. Even with everything that's going on politically, I still want to travel. I want to be able to show my kids the world. And that is something that I had never thought of being able to do before. I did not think that that was something that was in. It's not something that I thought I was capable of before. And now that I have taken myself out of the box, the self-imposed box, well, it's actually the box that society imposes on you, because society tells you have to stay in this box, right? And then when you get outside of that box is when you actually learn how much is really out there, and the prospects and the possibilities, and it just broadens your horizon. And I am just so excited for that part of this journey. So I know that this video was a bit of a ramble. But hey, scripting does not work for me. My ADHD, my neurospiciness, it does not agree with the whole script thing, because I have tried it and I never stick to the script, A, and B, it just, to me, is very robotic and unauthentic. And I have promised myself that I was going to show up on here completely authentic, and so that's what I've been doing. And yeah, I'm gonna go inside and cook dinner, which I haven't been doing, but I'm gonna go cook dinner, and then I'm gonna go and fold clothes and just really think and dream and ponder about what I want this next version of my life to be. I have already told my kids that eventually we will be traveling, and they are okay with that. As long as they have their devices, they're like, "Ma, we can do that as long as we have our devices and some really good headphones." Because I was explaining to them that trips overseas are going to be well over 12 hours. And they were like, "We don't know about that." And I was like, "Well, you can stay here then, but your mama is out." And they were like, "You're going to leave us?" Then you need to get with the program if you don't want me to leave you. And so they were like, "All right, well, can we have our devices? Like, we need to make sure we have our devices." And I was like, "That's fine. You can have your devices, but I'm going. So you're even coming with, or you're getting left behind. Let me know which one you figure out." They didn't like that, but it is what it is, because now that they are old enough, like my son will be 13 in October and my daughter will be 16 in November. And they are old enough to be able to travel with me, without me having to carry car seats and deal with all the yelling and screaming and the crying and that's one thing that I did not want to do. Because I have been on planes with children who were young and misbehaved, but like, it was something that I never wanted to have to go through. So that was always the deterrent of going places. But now I'm ready, and they are old enough where they can carry their own stuff. They can have their own suitcases. I don't have to carry extra bags. They can carry their own stuff. And there's a brand, I think it's called Luxe. I think it's Luxxe or Luxe. The carry-on that unfolds with the wheels and stuff. I want some of those. And so that is in the plan too before we start traveling. And so yeah, I'm allowing my imagination to just run wild right now. I am not confining myself to a particular dream. I am allowing myself to just imagine the different possibilities, the different things that could happen. And I'm excited and I'm ready to go. Like I said before, I am spiritually ready to leave. You know, the funds haven't caught up with me yet, but I'm not stressing that either, because at the end of the day, I love the fact that I am able to dream right now. I love the fact that I am able to explore and expand my mind and what can be possible for my life, which is something that I never did before. You know, being taught that you have to be humble. You have to, you know, you should be grateful for what you have and don't worry about what you want. And, you know, don't seem like you're ungrateful. No. I am grateful for everything that I have and I want more. I am grateful for everything that I have been given, everything that I've worked for, and I want more. Now that my horizons have been broadened, I want that. That's what I want with my life. That's what I want. And I'm going for it. And so I'm going to do everything that I can to get up out of here and go and travel. And I'm excited for that part of the journey as well. No matter what happens between here and now, here and now and then, I'm not going to let it deter me, because at the end of the day, we all make plans that sometimes don't work out, and we all have this idea of what our life is going to be like, and it doesn't really turn out like that. And so we have to learn that as humans, we can't get so attached to this image, this picture that we have in our heads, that we forget about everything that's possible. And I think that's what I did for so many years. I just didn't allow myself to expand, because I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know that I could. Right? And so when you know that you could, when you know different, you do different. And now that I know, now that I am aware, now that I have been awakened, there is no going back. At least not for me. And don't let nobody, listen, I know that there is a lot going on out here, both politically, spiritually, all the things. But just know that when you embark on this journey that you may be going on, you need to know that it is not going to be easy. Nobody is telling you that it's going to be easy. It's not going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be smooth sailing. Things happen. Life be lifing. But to endure and to proceed anyway. To endure and do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it broke. Do it scared. Do it anyway. And things will work out the way that they're supposed to, not the way that you want them to. Sometimes we get it in our heads that what we want is what's supposed to happen. And that is not the way that the world works. Not the way that the world works at all. And so when I got myself out of that logic of this is what I want and this is how it should happen and this is no, because while we be planning, the world just be having other things going on. And so we just have to learn to adapt. Oh, that is a nice Mustang. We just have to learn to adapt to what is what comes our way. Like really, that's the only option right now, is to adapt to what comes your way, because otherwise you're going to be miserable. And I choose to live my life in peace, not misery. So I'm going with the current and not against it. Okay. All right. So that being said, I'm going to stop getting ate up by mosquitoes. I'm going to go cook my family some dinner, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Bye. Oh my God, these mosquitoes are eating me up.